everybody. Welcome to another edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. This is the show we talk about sports with comedians. It's Tuesday. Out Monday, but that's all right. We got a lot of sports to talk about. First up is my man Talent in the building. What's up, T? How you doing, sir?
Bong. I'm here, baby. How you?
I'm doing A-OK. Let me change the background real fast. There it is. Changed. Let me bring in my man comedian known as Fig. What's up, Fig? How you doing?
Bam! Doing good, Frank. Hey, Frank, one thing you can't do is wear two shirts to make up for missing the day before.
My man Mike Jones out of the building. Mike, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. All right. Before I say this, I'm gonna say pause. I'm gonna say pause before because Fig's about to pause. I missed y'all yesterday, y'all. I missed y'all. I did.
Yo, Mike,
I did.
I need a pause too, because I did too. I really did.
I don't think you need to say pause because you missed him, man.
I ain't never told the man I missed him. I ain't never in my life.
So you don't have sons.
Oh, okay. You right. No, you win. That's true. I got girls. That's right. Yeah.
I ain't missed none of y'all. I was enjoying the time off. I ain't gonna lie. But
lies.
Yo, Frank.
All lies.
You're a liar, Frank.
You're a liar.
If you could have did it via satellite, you would have did it just because y'all squeak got to win.
Yeah, there it is.
Squeak gotta win. Yeah. And please, can you please tell me you're gonna bring up the fight because I need to be able to rant. I need one like a 3-minute rant.
If you're talking about the Bucks fight, yeah, we gotta get to that.
No, the Canelo Alvarez fight. I just need like I'll give it 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, please. Just allow me.
Tell you what, after I do my first story, I'll let you jump in on the Canelo Alvarez.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I missed you, Frank. I missed you.
The first big news is that happened this morning that I saw. Of course, obviously we're going to talk about the NFL when we talk about the NFL, but the news came across this morning that the WNBA players, all of them, have opted out against playing in Russia, which is crazy because, see, we talk about these women who play basketball professionally. You know, they have to supplement a lot of their income to be able to help make ends meet. But after the WNBA finals just concluded over the weekend, I think it was the Vegas Aces won. They all came to an agreement stating that they all are not going to play in Russia, which in one way is amazing because it also will hurt their economy. So you think this is going to, in my opinion, I think it's going to hurt the economy. So you think in this lighting news, you think it's going to resonate to Russia, or you think they don't care?
Well, we keep saying Russia. Like it's not what Russia cares about. It's Vladimir.
Right.
Russia, here's the funny thing. The Russians are not bad people. We got a history, so we give an overall brush of the Russians and the American type thing. But the people are not a bad people compared to anybody else in any other country. It's the leadership. And is the leadership going to give a damn? Absolutely not. This guy he's probably one of the strongest, headfast people I know in politics that stands firm to make whatever point he's trying to make, whatever that is. Right now, Russia's at war with Ukraine. Right. And until that's resolved, everybody else is collateral damage.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I can't see any different than that. Part of the collateral damage, though, is going to happen to be the economy. Fig, what's your take?
You know what I think for on this side of it, for the American women in the WNBA, I give them big kudos, shout out to them because, you know, when it comes to social justice and things that have to do with the community, they always seem to be on the front lines. So I give them big props for deciding to stand with their convictions as opposed to going after the money. You know, that takes a certain kind of mindset to say, you know what, I'm going to stand on my principles and I'm not going after the money because this is not right. Yeah. And that just, you know, I bow down to them because they take that stand and they have done it consistently over the years.
And you know what, Mike Sean, it means more to us. It means more to them. I would say it just means more because as what the NBA players did, it didn't affect their pocket when they did the George Floyd. The WNBA players, this is affecting their pocket. Some of them might not be able to make ends meet which might sound crazy. Some might not be able to make ends meet because they're taking out a good 20 to 30% of their actual income of what they normally earn every year. You know what I mean? What you think, Mike?
They could have talent in jail and I'd be in Russia performing. Listen, like, all right. So all jokes aside, this is why we have this complex, because women do things that we not built to do. Like they're doing something that they nailed it, the whole thing. They're doing something that's affecting their money for real, like affecting their money for real. And Putin don't give a damn. Now the owners of the basketball teams are going to give a damn because they're not going to be as good as they were. But these ladies are doing something like when LeBron, and y'all know I think LeBron's the greatest ever. When LeBron punked out on the China comment, he punked out because the NBA was like, do you know how many people are in China and watch the basketball? Do you know how many people in China watch basketball? You can't say that. These women are actually taking it upon themselves to do something that we should have done a long time ago.
Right.
And they are actually it's gonna affect I'm talking about affect actual cell phone bills. We ain't talking about billionaires and $100 million and $200 million. We're talking about chicks that literally they're gonna be cell phones turned off in the NBA because they can't pay their cell phone bill because they can't make their money overseas. So I applaud them. I think they're doing a great job, and I wish the men in the NBA would do the same.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, Tal, the next story is one Mike wanted to talk about. I didn't get a chance to see the fight over the weekend. I don't know. Did you get a chance to see the fight, T? Did you hear anything?
No,
about
I didn't see the fight. I seen the highlights of the fight as usual. Because those fights come on prime time for when we working. Mike was off duty.
Well, actually, I wasn't. But, but kind of.
We'll let Mike jump in because Mike wants to get his rant. We'll let Mike jump in, and then we're going to jump into the NFL because we got some stuff. Go ahead, Mike.
Let me get this. Let's understand this. I am not a Floyd Mayweather fan. I have never been a Floyd Mayweather fan. I watched every pay-per-view fight because I wanted him to lose, except when he fought Conor McGregor. Canelo Alvarez is the most overrated fighter in the history of the world. Everybody who went at Floyd, they were like, he fought Pacquiao out of his prime. He fought Shane Mosley out of his prime. Canelo beat a 40-year-old Saturday and act like he did work. And the 40-year-old won the last 3 rounds. How a 40-year-old, and you're in the prime of your career, wins the last 3 rounds? Like this man's over the fact that this whole boxing thing and the Max Kellermans of the world will sit there and applaud that he won, he beat Triple G is ridiculous. Please understand, Floyd beat his ass.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you a real quick story. I know Errol Spence's trainer, and I called him, swear on everything on life. This is when I know I got a problem. I got a problem. I called him. I said, forget this Terrence Crawford thing. Go beat Canelo's ass and have 100,000 Mexicans at AT&T Stadium, and your pay-per-view numbers will go through the roof, and you guys can retire. And I knew I was on to something. I think I brokered my first fight. I think I need a percentage because that dude said he paused, and he said, "You're right. We should.
Wow.
We should just go up there." And I said, how is it really? Because I want to respect boxers. Like, how hard would it be for him to move up in weight? He said it's harder for him to stay at the weight that he's at right now. That's the hard part. Is to stay at this weight. Like, Doug, that night, Saturday night, Canelo would have got stopped by Errol Spence. He would have stopped them. Those are the 2 slowest fighters I've ever seen in my life throw punches and show you the punch that they're going to throw before they throw it. So that's my rant. But all you Floyd haters, and I was once a Floyd hater, but I respect what he's done. Don't ever bring up that Floyd fought people when they were out their prime. Because this dude just fought a 40-year-old, and you guys are giving him credit for that. Thank you.
Mike,
Thank you, Frank.
Mike, the one thing that you got to say about Canelo is he got his own cooking oil, and it fries chicken lovely.
All right, let's keep it moving. T, since we got a lot to
Why
cover.
did you set me up? I thought you was really gonna say something.
Yeah. We got something we got to talk about, man. We got to jump into the NFL, but before we get into not before, let's work our way backwards and talk about last night, and then get to Sunday. I want to get to a lot of these Sunday games too. But last night, the Buffalo Bills put on what is called a clinic in the business right here, right? I want to ask you, man. Buffalo Bills, they defeated two very good teams in the last 2 weeks. Is Buffalo a serious contender, not just to get to the Super Bowl, but to win in convincing fashion? If you had to say by game 2, or is it too early to say that right now? You know, or are we just getting too far ahead of ourselves? What you think?
Well, the only thing you could say is too early to say is because football is a game of chance and injury. That's the only reason you could say something's too early. But we always talk about in sports, every sport, the people who come into it with the chip on their shoulder are the ones to be watching out for. Buffalo is the ultimate team in the NFL right now with the chip on the shoulder because they weren't done in per se by the other team exactly. They were done in by a rule. Mm-hmm. You know, they were on a roll. They were fantastic. They were playing at the peak of their team's level of play. And because of the rule, they didn't get a chance to finish the game per se. It was just over by default of the rule. So they are the team that felt like they could have went to the Super Bowl last year. So they coming in with that chip on their shoulder, with that animosity, and they added a couple of pieces.
Yep.
And they added a couple of pieces, man. Listen, and Von Miller looked like a draft pick, right? We were studying Von Miller. Like, what's different? It's something different about. I don't know. Like these new players come out. First of all, the game has changed. Y'all need to recognize this ain't your old football league. This ain't Refrigerator Perry years.
No,
these linemen are big, but like in shape big. Remember back in the day, you could just be big fat boy, get up on the line. Yeah. This ain't that day. So these guys are moving faster. That's why you see a guy like Josh Allen getting out of that parking and being very mobile. And that's the new thing, even though black quarterbacks was ahead of that by, 4 decades. Even though, because remember, they were being shunned for leaving the pocket and being mobile.
Vince Evans.
Now they're telling the white guy, run, white guy, run. So,
that's funny.
So let me ask you this: in the age of speed, Fig, in the age that we're going with speed, in the age that we're going with defense is not playing so well, everything else, are we just thinking right now that the Bills are who we thought they were? You know what I mean? Because that's the big NFL quote. They are who we thought they were, or what's your take?
Well, first off, in response to what Talent said was run, Forrest, run. No, listen. The Bills have been there for the last 2 years, Frank. The previous years, they were right there at the cusp. You know what I mean? And if it wasn't for like Talent said, a rule here or there, they may have been in the Super Bowl already. It's like they seem to pick up where they left off, and like what Talent said, what's scary is they picked up on the defense some players that are actually made their team better, and they picked up Von Miller, which I call him Superman, because if you see Von Miller off the field, he wears these big Clark Kent glasses, and then when he's on the field, he takes them off. He takes off his field, put on a uniform, and becomes Superman, because even when Von Miller doesn't get a quarterback sack, he disrupts he disrupts the offense. You need to block him with 2 guys, and he's so disruptive that he makes it difficult for the other team. A la what we saw last night. They got some of the best running game that you have in the NFL, and they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything against the Buffalo Bills. If the Buffalo Bills continue down this trajectory, man, it's going to be lights out for the rest of the NFL.
It really is. But Von Miller's called the Super Bowl Whisperer, Mike, Sean. He's called the Super Bowl Whisperer probably for a reason. Buffalo does look really, really, really good, man. It's scary as a New England Patriots fan. What's your take, Mike?
Who else beat the Titans? Who beat the Titans last week? The Giants.
Giants.
So we getting all excited. The Giants beat the Titans. Maybe the Titans just ain't that damn good. Like I don't know. Like I think Buffalo is going to be a major player in this whole situation. They're going to wind up being a major player in the whole thing. But if Von Miller is rushing your quarterback like that, like as a coaching staff, don't you say no? We're not just going to chip him. We're the running back. No, you don't chip and just walk out. No, you stay there and you keep blocking him. Like you stay there. Like you don't chip Von Miller. That doesn't work with Von Miller. It didn't work with Lawrence Taylor. It didn't work with Bruce Smith. It didn't work with Reggie White. Like that stuff doesn't work. There's a certain point where you got to be like, no, dog, you on this play, you're going to stay right here and you're going to block. Y'all both going to block him. So do I think Buffalo will be a major player? Do I think it's too early to be convinced? Yeah, I think it's too early. I still think it's too early.
But to me, I'm gonna throw this out there. I love the Buffalo game, but talent to me, besides the Jets game, I'm gonna get to that in a second. But to me, the worst, the best game, worst game to me was the Miami Dolphins come back against the Ravens. Because when I was looking at that going back and forth, I was like, yeah, the Dolphins get ready to get smashed.
I call talent for that.
I was like, okay, it's over. It's ridiculous. It's over. And then what happened? I turned back and I was like, what happened? Talk to me, man, about Tua getting ready to is he getting ready to put the league on notice? Because right now, everybody in the NFL who's in the NFL circles is saying Tua has the best trio of wide receivers playing for him, and that's how they were able to come back against the Ravens, man. What's your take on this, T?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why the Bills versus Miami going to be such an epic game. The best receivers going at each other. Dope quarterbacks with the top receivers. If you check the numbers right now, they got the 1 and 2. So it's going to be dope. Miami is striking me as a team. Give them 2 more weeks, and they're going to do. See the difference in Buffalo and Miami to me. Buffalo comes out the gate. If you look at them, their first possession of the ball, they're putting it in. They're putting points on the board. First possession. They're not wasting any time. Miami is kind of more pacing until the end of the game or get behind. Either they get behind or they get late in the game, and you start to see how good they really are, the capabilities. Once I say 1 or 2 more weeks, 1 or 2 more games, they're going to be coming out with that urgency. And if they healthy, them receivers are still there, your quarterback's still there, and they come out with that urgency, they are putting the league on notice, Frank. They're going to be right there, that team to beat. And they said, and Josh Allen and the guys said it, the other day, because their next game is against Miami. They said, listen, what we worried about is they in our division. We got to play them twice.
Yeah. But Fig, were we overlooking Tua? Because a lot of people were saying Tua was done. You know what I mean? But Tua don't seem like he's done to me.
I don't think Tua is. Look, first off, it's my philosophy that it takes a rookie quarterback about 2 to 3 years to get his NFL bearings. You know what I mean? It's just like the NBA. You get these young guys in, man, they are playing some of the greatest players to ever play that sport. It's a rare occasion that a guy comes in and he's already ready, especially when you have the responsibility of a quarterback. The quarterback needs to know everything, not just his plays. He needs to know the other side of the ball. He needs to know what the defense is doing and what they're trying to do, what they're trying to take away, and how to manipulate that. That takes time. So I think they were prejudging Tua a little too quickly. But on the other side, when you're going against Buffalo, when you're going against the Baltimore Ravens, the one thing that you got to take into consideration is the Baltimore Ravens have 2 rookie defensive backs that Tua was throwing against with some pretty good receivers. They got rookies on the other side. So maybe that was the reason. I want to hold my judgment until I see them go up against somebody that has a formidable defense and have formidable defensive backs, and see if Tua and those receivers are able to do something against somebody that's formidable. I blame that on the defense of Baltimore more so than I give maybe like a little bit of each, 50-50, 45-55 type of thing, because I don't know if Tua was that good or Baltimore defense is that bad. Are you talking about 21 points or a 21-point deficit and you erase that in 1 quarter? I got to blame that on the defense, man. That's horrible. That's horrible defense.
I blame it on the defense myself. But is Baltimore that bad? Is Miami that good? What's your takeaway from that? One of the miraculous comebacks over the weekend, Mike. What's your take?
I tell you, he better call his mom and sign that damn contract.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when you talking about all that money Lamar Jackson wants, and you let Tua outplay you, and you want that money, let me tell you what they're gonna bring up in the negotiations. How Tua outplayed you. When it came down to the clutch, when it came down to the fourth quarter, you got outplayed. Now, am I saying he's better than Lamar Jackson? No. I'm not saying he's better, but there's a chance Lamar Jackson ain't never won a championship in any level. Well, maybe high school. But Tua has. He's won a championship. Like, he's been there. Like, dog, that's why you signed the contract, because it's not Lamar Jackson's fault that the defense couldn't stop the Dolphins. But guess what? It's going to be used against you in the negotiations. And I promise the money that was on the table is not going to be on the table this offseason. So get ready, because they're going to franchise you because you decided that you want to play this game where I'm going to do. You're going to turn down $200 million. That's what you're going to do, because all of it wasn't guaranteed. And Tua yesterday showed everybody, all the haters, he showed everybody what he can do if you just let him go. Let him play. Like, let him throw the damn ball. Like, stop trying to like put him in this little box. Because the dude is a winner. I'm not saying he's a great athlete. I'm not saying he's great this or that. He just wins things. He wins. And the Dolphins, and Talon's right. In 2 weeks, we're going to find out. The Dolphins are going to be a problem. And he knows, and now he knows he can toss that ball up to Tyreek Hill anywhere.
You know
what?
what?
The Dolphins beat the Jets. If the Dolphins beat the Bills, it'd be one of the biggest upsets of the season so far. You're watching football.
It won't be an upset.
No, I think it would be considered an upset because everybody's going to pick.
It won't be an upset. You got to cover those guys. Like Von Miller can't be reckless and just go after your quarterback when you got that receiving core. Like, they're going to have to help.
I agree.
They're going to be I'm sorry.
Let me forget about it. Let me just jump into the next one, man. Speaking of which, man, the 49ers ended up playing Seattle Seahawks, right? This was a big game we were looking at. The 49ers ended up getting Trey Lance hurt very early in the game. They lose to the Seahawks. Jimmy G comes in. Jimmy G comes in and defeats the Seahawks. I'm sorry, and defeats them in convincingly fashion. But Trey Lance was coming in and he didn't look that good early on. I was watching that game. I was on the West Coast. I was watching that game. He didn't look like, all that. But Jimmy G came in and changed the whole trajectory of the game. He changed everything of why the way these boys was playing. It just looked completely different, T. What happens now if you're San Fran and Jimmy G just gets you to the playoffs, and don't let him get you to the NFC Championship? What do you do then if you're San Francisco? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know what they're going to do. I know Trey Lance should feel good. This is good for the male ego, because on record, I got injured.
Facts on facts. Facts
Think
on
about
facts.
this. Think about this. This is great for my resume. My ego. This keeps me from smoking the pipe. I didn't get fired. I didn't get demoted. I didn't take over. I get injured. And if you get injured, protocol is you got to go out. Somebody got to come in. It's a no-brainer. The game went on the way it's supposed to go, and the games will go on the way it's supposed to go. So in that essence, consider himself lucky. Now we have to see if their plan that we already know is in the motion is going to come into fruition the way they seen it to come. Because supposedly this is supposed to be an upgrade right now. So let's see if it's an upgrade right now. Like you just said, Frank, if they go on, start getting that ass spanked a few times, and that record started to go below 500 and look kind of a little shifty and shady, now that's a whole nother conversation. Now we'll start seeing the ticker go across the bottom of the sports shows saying, keep talking about when his return is coming. Oh, Trey Lance is one more week. He's practicing. You know what I mean? But right now, believe it or not, this is the best thing that could have happened for Trey Lance right now. I know people can't see it because it's an injury, but your stock is good right now. It didn't go up. It didn't go down. You're on IR. You're just injured.
Yeah, I like the way you said that, man. That's the way I would look at it too. But what's your take looking at it from Fig? Because at the end of the day, Trey Lance has only, I don't even think he's played 10 official games yet. You know what I mean? Starting. What's your take, Vic?
Yo, man, it goes back to what I said before. I think an NFL quarterback needs time to gather and get his NFL legs. Look, I think it sort of looked like a setup to me. You know what I mean? They play the Monsoon Bowl the week before. The next week, he gets injured. Now, check this out. Trey Lance gets mollywopped. Do you know after that play, nobody touched Jimmy G? Nobody touched him. He didn't get sacked. He didn't even get a hangnail. So you mean to tell me the offensive line didn't let those guys get to Trey Lance? I mean, does that look like, is that a possibility that they let them get to Trey Lance and then Jimmy G comes in there and lights it up? And look, I like Jimmy G. I think Jimmy G is a formidable quarterback if he has weapons and an offensive line. That's what I thought about Jimmy G. I've been saying it for the last few years. I didn't understand them trying to get rid of him because he seems like a good quarterback. The only knock on Jimmy G is he gets injured. But if you protect him, he can win you some games and get you to the Super Bowl. Okay. So Trey Lance might be in trouble.
Well, in defense of Trey Lance was running the ball up the middle and he got injured. I don't think his offensive line hurt him that much. So he was running. He took off. You know what I mean? When he took off, he got popped. He got, that's what happened.
He took off because he was in trouble.
Yeah, he was. He was in real trouble.
They were chasing him down.
Mike, how you look at it, man? Mike, what's your take on if you're a 49ers fan right now? How you look at it?
Trey Lance. This is gonna be disrespectful, but it's over.
Hilarious.
If Jimmy G don't get hurt, he gonna lead that team that needs to win now. They need to win now.
Yeah.
He's gonna lead that team to the NFC Championship and mess around and win and go to the Super Bowl. It's over. And this is why I said over and over again, if I was Trey Lance, I would have fired my agent. How dare you keep this dude on this team when you know it's supposed to be my team? Like, this is what kills me with these quarterbacks, with Lamar Jackson and Trey. Dog, you're not keeping him. Then just get rid of me then. Because Vic said it, and we've been saying this. No other sports show said this. We've been saying this was a setup. We've been saying this is a setup. That he took less money to stay there because he saw Trey in practice. And he saw he wasn't that good because he still has to grow. He still can't read a defense. His offensive line didn't cause that problem. The problem was that when you don't see your first option, you take off. Okay, so once you take off, that's on you, homie. That's all on you. That's all based on you at that point. If Jimmy G does not get hurt, I promise you, they will win 10 or 11 games. And he's not going to see that starting quarterback position. And Talon is right when he says they're going to be like, oh, he'll be back in a week. He'll be back in there were complications. They were this. We realized that he's going to need this or that or that or this. Dog, it's over.
Yeah.
It's done. It's a wrap.
Hey, Frank, guess what? And Jimmy G's contract is incentivized.
Yes.
So that means the better he does, the more money he makes.
He's going to make all his money. All the money he gave up, he's going to make.
If he does well, he makes more money.
The show you're watching is called Box Seats. We are on the Humor Mill channel. Also downloadable on the Humor Mill app. That's Talent. That's Fig. That's Mike Sean. I'm Frank. T, the Jets won. The Jets won. Y'all need to run outside there. Not only did they win, they came back, led by older quarterback Jim Flacco, and beat the Cleveland Browns. And I don't think anybody outside of the Jets fandom thought the Jets was going to beat the Cleveland Browns. I don't think anybody saw that. I know I didn't pick them. I know you did.
Because you don't believe in that defense. The defense is real. You can't have those offensive opportunities without that D doing what it do. 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Down 13. Do the math.
I did. I still thought they were going to lose.
I thought they were going to lose too.
I thought they were going to lose. I looked at the game. I saw 2 minutes of change left. I was, they're going to lose.
Right, let me get my calculator out. Let me do these numbers.
Yeah, I did the catch. I said, there's not enough time for the Jets to come back and win. I did the math. I thought they were going to lose. but they came back and won. So let me ask you this, Fig.
Wow.
According to what Mike Sean has said a couple of while ago, Mike Sean said if the Browns don't win a couple of games the way they're supposed to, they're gonna be real uproar and in Brown fandom and everything else about that. This is one of the games that the Browns had checked off as a game to win, that everybody expected them to win. This is one of the games that everybody was expecting them to lose. This is a game everybody was expecting them to win. Browns Nation is very upset right now. Very upset. What's your take on the Jets? Not only winning, they came back and won literally and come back fast. It was the first time they did that in like 8-10 years. What's your take, Vic?
First off, let's give it up to Butter Fluco. I mean, Flacco, listen, isn't Flacco the same quarterback that took the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl and won?
No, the Ravens.
No. The Ravens.
Ravens.
Right.
Flacco. I'm thinking of somebody. Flacco. Flacco is a really good quarterback. You know what I mean? He's a little older. He's a journeyman, but he's a good quarterback. You give him some weapons, or you give him a little time, or you give him a little crack, he's gonna make something happen because he's been in the league long enough to know that you don't have to depend on your athleticism. He knows enough about the game to be able to win some games. To do it in less than 2 minutes, that's impressive. But listen, why would the Browns be upset? You don't have your number one quarterback. The quarterback that you did have that took you out of the dungeon from winning 1 or 2 games a season, y'all got rid of him. And the one that you got to replace him can't play until game 11 or 12. You deserve this. You set this up. You knew this was coming. You knew that he was going to get suspended for at least 6-7 games, but it's 11. You knew this was coming. So why are you upset? You got a backup quarterback trying to beat starters with a team that's
Mike Sean, I gotta say this: the ghost of Vinny Testaverde looked like he walked on the field disguised as Joe Flacco. It got because the last time I think a QB did that was Vinny Testaverde. I'll double check, but I haven't seen anybody do that in a Jets uniform in a long time.
Favre might have done it. Favre might have done it.
Matter of fact, he did do that. He did do it in that season. Yeah. He did it against the Patriots, matter of fact, when the Patriots came back in 2008. Anyway, forget about that part. I want to ask you this though: is there rightfully so? Should there be people very upset in Browns Nation, or what's your thought? What's your take?
No, y'all wanted to guarantee somebody $230 million that had all these accusations. Okay. Now y'all get what y'all get. That's what it is. Now y'all, and I said they're gonna regret the day they signed him to $230 million guaranteed. They're gonna regret it. Because by the time he gets on the field, he's going to be rusty. Now, we haven't seen Deshaun Watson throw a pass other than preseason in 2 years now?
Right.
Yeah.
And now you think he's going to come on there and he's going to just pop off and it's going to be all good? No, it's not. That was your dumb decision. Y'all deserve what y'all, like Cleveland, like Fig's right. Y'all deserve what y'all getting right now. And the Cleveland fans to be mad. First of all, your team's never been good. Your football team's never been really great. They've been good.
No,
but stop with y'all ain't been to a Super Bowl. Jim Brown was in the last championship game you was in. Like, are y'all kidding me right now? Y'all want to get upset over something? Y'all fake cared about women. Y'all fake cared about it until you got the quarterback you wanted. Then you were like, yeah, it's all good. I don't care what he did in the massage, and I don't give a damn what happened. Okay, now you got it. Hold that for a second. Because it's gonna be a long year for Cleveland. It's gonna be a long year.
Hold that mic.
Yeah, hold that for a second. Just hold that. Hold that real quick.
All right, so in other news, Jalen Hurts had a huge night. The Eagles made a huge statement. And Minnesota Vikings end up winning 24-7. Jalen Hurts threw for 576 yards, bro. He had 1 TD he threw for. He has now 3 rushing TDs in the first 2 games of the season. Is Philadelphia Eagles clearly the best team in the NFC East? I think they are, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. What you think about the Eagles?
For some reason, I'm not convinced. And I think it has to do with the division. This division still got a lot to prove. So coming off the last season, this was like probably the worst division in football. Like these guys were battling for a playoff spot, and nobody was 500.
Mhm.
So somebody was going to sneak in with a horrible record anyway. So now coming off of that, it starts off like this. I'm going to be convinced about, I say week 5. Week 5, I'll look at that division and I'll be like, we'll be truly able to tell who's dominating that division, who got it by the neck, by the jugular, if you will, and all that. But right now, I'm not convinced with 2 games, Frank. They look really good. First 2 weeks, can't take that from them. They're balling out. They look good. But for some reason with that division, I'm going to give it a couple weeks for, jury's out.
Okay, all right. I will say this. I do think it's early, but maybe the Eagles. The Eagles made a lot of changes. They made a lot of changes. What'd you think?
Yeah, man. Who did they play? You understand? Who did they play yet that is so formidable that you're gonna put them ahead of everybody else? Like the Giants and the Eagles are both 2-0. So what do they play each other next week? I think they play each other next week.
No,
right?
Monday night Giants.
No, they play. We gonna beat the Cowboys Monday night. Yeah,
Monday
I said
night,
week.
next Monday.
Yeah, I said week.
Oh, okay.
I said week.
No, the Eagles play the Commanders.
Yeah.
That's a win. So they'll be 3-0. But here's the thing. You never know what a team is going to do until they meet a team that's really good. I mean, if you play in the bottom echelon of the NFL, you look really great. And then when you get to the top echelon of the NFL where the defense is really good, then we get to find out who you really are.
Right.
And like they said, they are who we thought they were.
That's hilarious.
He's silly.
Mike Sean, what's your take on this, man?
They look good. They're not better than the Giants, but they look good. They do. They look good. But Jalen Hurts, I said this, and he was my pick that I picked for my fantasy football quarterback because Jalen Hurts has a work ethic where he just gets better. Like he gets better as time goes. Like he works. You can tell that he worked during the offseason. Like you can tell. Like he's reading defenses a lot better than he did before. Before it was like I said about what's his name? First option ain't open, I'm running. Now he's literally looking and going like, I got options. I got 2 really good receivers and a really good tight end that I can watch. So when I run, I'm running specifically to throw the ball. So they are good. They're not better than Giants, but that's because I hate anything that comes out of Philly, other than the people, who listen to me on the radio. So sorry.
Other than me.
Other than me, y'all like me, I like you.
I ain't never did come out of Philly other than me.
Other than me.
Yo, tell it. If Mike was fat, he would have said, I hate everything that come out of Philly except for the cheesesteaks.
Except for and the cheesesteaks are the most overrated cheesesteaks in the history of the world. They're the most when you put Cheese Whiz on a cheesesteak, and you gonna tell me that is the dopest cheesesteak in the world? No, stop it. That's worse than the Liberty Bell. Stop. Hold that one too.
And they still ain't fixed it. After all these years, they ain't fixed the crap.
In other news, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ended up defeating the Saints finally for the first time in Tom Brady's career as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer in regular season, 20-10. Huge fight breaks out. But this morning, I thought they were going to talk about, obviously a couple of more suspensions. They didn't. I heard the news this morning that wide receiver Cole Beasley used to be on Buffalo is now signing with Tampa Bay. Looks like Tampa Bay does need him because they got a lot of injuries, but they also have a lot of suspensions too. Mike Evans just got suspended too. What's your take on the fight, the game, the Bucks beating the Saints? What's your take on this whole thing, T? What's your take?
Well, I like fights in football. I can't even lie. It keeps the game exciting. Somebody got to get mad at somebody at some point, because it's a gladiator sport. But the best part about this fight was Tom Brady's response and statement, and that's what you want. If you're the guy that got into a fight and ultimately got suspended, you want at least the guy you sticking up for to say, "Hey, man, thanks, man." You know what I'm saying? Like so many guys get suspended for standing up for their teammate and never get any love. Tom Brady came out in his own mouth and said, "Listen." He said, first of all, I think it's ludicrous. I don't think it was warranted. I don't think he should have got suspended, but, that's what they did. He said, I appreciate him sticking up for me. I appreciate him looking out for me. He said, I don't agree with the suspension, but I'm glad he had my back. And I appreciate him having my back. And he knows that where we stand, we got his back as well. I thought that was beautiful. That was almost as beautiful as Mike saying he missed it. That was right up there.
It was right up there.
Brotherly love. Right up there.
Big, what's your take on that Tampa Bay game, that Tampa Bay fight, everything? What's your take on that?
Yo, man, listen. The coach was looking at him like, yo, man, what are you doing? And he looked right at the coach. He was like, yo, it was Tom Brady.
Facts.
What do you want me to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? He beefing at Tom freaking Brady. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just let him ride like that? I gotta appreciate that, man. I don't care. You get suspended 1 game, 2, 3 games. I don't care what it is. You sticking up for your quarterback, and it's Tom freaking Brady, dude. That's an automatic. Like, yo, that's a pass. The dude was in Tom Brady's face. You stuck up for your. First off, it's your quarterback, and Tom Brady's 45. Who are you fighting? Who Tom Brady fighting at 45? Listen, at 45, you wake up with aches and pains. You understand what I'm saying? Let alone a fight.
Tom Brady will whoop everybody ass in that nursing home. Don't play it.
I'm saying, yo, man, it is what it is. You know what's sad? They allow fighting in hockey with just a little penalty box. But then when it comes to the NFL, you got to be on your best behavior. Yo, it's one of the rough. It's probably the roughest sport that we have in modern day sports right now. How are emotions not going to get high to where you have an occasional fight? It didn't spill into the stands. Nobody in the stands got injured. It was no, it was no fans. It was no innocent bystanders. These were football players with helmets and shoulder pads and knee pads and thigh pads and performance enhancing drugs. Like, come on.
Performance enhancing drugs. Mike, Sean, what's your take on this, bro? At the end of the day, Tom Brady, he is the centerpiece of Tampa Bay. He goes out, their whole season changes.
Roger Goodell is the biggest hypocrite. Well, we already know that. We already know what it is. Like you playing a game where some of these players will not remember their name in 10 years. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna suspend somebody for literally getting into a fight defending Tom Brady. Okay, my best friend in the world is Jay Black. One time there was a situation, and I was like, dog, we need to get out of here. And Jay Black said, no, we're gonna fight. And I said, damn it.
Yeah. I think it means you didn't want to fight.
No, I wasn't. I'm not the fighting dude, but he said, no, we fighting tonight. And I was like, Jay, Talent knows him. Like, he was with me in Harrisburg. And he was like, no, we fighting tonight. Like, if he comes to me, we fighting. Guess what? When your teammate does something like that for you, the morale in that locker room just gets bigger. Yeah. It just everybody starts realizing, yo, we in this. Like, we in this for real. Like, everybody's all in. And that's some stuff, I'd learned that lesson that night. I don't technically know if we won the fight, but
yo, hold up. Was it me? Or when Mike said that, did his voice get a little shaky? He was like,
shaky. You think it was shaky? These weren't no regular Philly dudes. These are some North Philly dudes. I was like, damn. I said, we really gonna fight? Like, we can get in the car. Like, we can get in the car right now, right? He said, we're not getting in the car.
That is so funny, man. You know how funny that is, and we need to get it. No, we fight.
We fight.
Huh?
We need to get out.
I said, we can get to the car, but Taylor, we could have got to the car. The car was right there. Like my car was right there.
You know, that's a bit. I gotta do something because that's every fight that happens. There's both sides. You never hear about that, but it's both sides.
Yeah.
There's a guy that does not want to fight.
I'm the one that, like, okay, my boys jumped somebody one time, right? And they jumped him, and I felt bad for the dude. Like, I was like, why are we jumping him? Like, and we all had our Timbs on and everything like that. So I had to kick him because one of my boys looked at me and was like, you gonna kick him? I was like, well, damn. I mean, y'all already kicking him. Like, why should I kick? All right, here goes the kick. I gave the wackest kick in the history of the world. Like,
my Timberlands are new.
they're brand new. Man.
Yeah.
So I did say this. I think I've done that on stage like once or twice, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to fight. I don't. But when
And
somebody,
Mike, me and you have that in common. We those guys in our groups. Like I'm that guy. I'm the guy that goes, it's enough.
it's over. Stop.
I'm the guy to watch all of that melee. And all right, it's enough.
It's over.
He got the message. Whatever I got to say.
He got the message.
Yo, tell it. Yo, y'all the guys that say it's enough. I'm the dude who call you from on my way home. Y'all good?
You don't even stay. At least my little ass stays. I stay.
I want to be a witness. Because
You know,
when the cops show up, they need to ask, yo, who was here? We need to ask some questions. They be like, yo,
I
he
know.
was
And
there.
if you do that thing, we have a rule in my group. Like if you did that left and call later, like whoever goes to jail, you're responsible to bail them out. The person who leaves is responsible financially to bail out whoever got to go to jail. That's a dope rule.
That is amazing. That's an
All right,
amazing.
so
Go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
let's keep moving.
Possibly.
I want to throw out there and say that
Right up
Yo,
and bail them out.
Frank
Frank,
Major-
all right, another news.
yo, tell me, Frank majored in segues in journalism school.
So Frank is definitely the constant professional. And then he shot her. All right, in other news.
In other news, it's going to be partly cloudy and 75 degrees.
because I'm trying to keep it going.
Go ahead. I know we got some more.
Lord save the king.
Kyler Murray ended up winning a monster game. Kyler Murray had a great game the other day, man. One of the best games I've ever seen him play. I can't even front. I literally thought that was another game I thought the Raiders had in the bag. I was like, oh, the Raiders got this game. No problem. You know, Josh McDaniels will get his first W. I was like, it's not a problem. Not a problem. I'm watching the game and can't believe what I'm seeing. And I want to ask you this: Did Arizona save their season talent? And the same token, is the Raiders season over and done? Or because the Raiders started 0-2, people expect them right now to be 2-0. What's your take on this?
Well, let me say this. And people, before the season started, I got so much money I'm making off the Raiders losing, by the way. Because everybody had all these high hopes and expectations. And I'm seeing what I knew I would be seeing. Looks like the same old Raiders. It looks like the Raiders, for the past years, have been always able to find a way to lose a game. And these first 2 weeks, they are showing me the same old Raiders. I mean, a couple of new players, a couple of added pieces that are actual good pieces, but with Carr there, they're finding a way to lose. And you're right, Kyler Murray, monster game, looking great. Dude, I'm telling you right now, I see the Raiders squeaking to 500 this
Ooh, he said squeaking to 500.
year. Squeaking to 500. Remember I told you.
He might be right.
Well, you really can't be 500 no more because it's 17.
Oh yeah, 17 games. Yeah. So you can't.
Greg, the Raiders have the worst luck so far. Do you think they're gonna turn it around?
Actually, I do. Devontae Adams and Carr are really close friends, but they didn't build no chemistry on the field yet. And they have to be able to recapture that. I think once they're able to capture that chemistry that they had between the quarterback and your number one receiver, and once Carr stops trying to force everything to Devontae Adams and starts to play the game the way it's supposed to be played, I think they'll come out better. It's almost like Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. You got this number one receiver. Now you trying to force everything, and the defense knows you trying that, so they able to plan for it. So my thing is, I think they may come out a little better than 500. Hey, they may even get like about 9 and squeak into a wild card type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. We'll see. It's still early yet, though, right, Mike, Sean? Or are we panicking?
No, it's still early. I think Big made a lot of sense with that, trying to force things. Just because you have a number one receiver doesn't mean all the passes have to go to the number one receiver. Oh, by the way, the guy that my friends jumped, I whispered in his ear, right? The guy, I said, stop fighting back. I told him, I said, stop fighting back.
I thought you whispered in his ear, there's no place like home.
No, because this dude was tough. Like, he was still throwing punches. I was like, stop fighting back. They don't think it, just go, let it happen. I think the Raiders can turn it around. I think we kind of disrespect how dope Aaron Rodgers is. And how and I did too. Like, I jumped on the bandwagon. Aaron Rodgers will just go to one person. Derek Carr is not Aaron Rodgers. And I think we figured that out by now. That's how good Aaron Rodgers really is. And the Raiders should have never fired the coach that took them to the playoffs last year. But they wanted to jump on the Patriot bandwagon and go replace him. He had them dudes in a different zone, a different energy than they are right now. Now, do I think they can make the playoffs? Yeah, they can make the playoffs. So I thought they were going to make a run, but I know it's early because I can change my mind at any time. It's early. I don't see them making a run because I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to let too many people make a run this season because I think he's pissed off that we're talking about Josh Allen the way we're talking about.
Yeah, we got a lot. Listen, tomorrow we're gonna get ready to go. Tomorrow we got to talk about the Broncos game. We got to talk about the Patriots game. We got to talk about a couple of things. There's so much news I didn't even get a chance to get to. I didn't get a chance to touch any of this NBA news because I really wanted to talk about Schroeder getting to the Lakers, but we're gonna talk about that tomorrow because that happened Friday. And Schroeder signed.
Do you know how sick he is that he did not sign that first contract that they offered him? Do you know how sick he is right now?
He's got to be. He's got
a 1-year deal. Hey, Frank, before we go, I want to give a shout out to Becky Hammond, the coach of the Las Vegas Aces. This was her first year coaching this team, and they won the WNBA championship. Shout out to that young lady because she put a lot of work in under Greg Popovich, being assistant coach for the San Antonio Spurs. Goes to the WNBA, first head coach job. And wins the WNBA.
Who they beat, Frank? Who they beat, Fig?
Say what?
Who they beat?
Shut up, talent. Shut up.
He ain't see the game.
They beat Connecticut. How about that? Yeah, they sure did. They beat Connecticut. All right. Shut up.
Connecticut ain't been dope since Ray Allen was there.
I wanted to also make sure that we ended up getting to this Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver thing because we didn't get a chance to get to that. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow because there's so much news.
We still got time. We still got time.
No, we don't because by the time I edit and put the front credits in the back,
why always got to be about you? Why always got to be about what you got to do?
Only me.
And I'll have
a few minutes from yesterday, Frank.
I have some rumor mill for the humor mill tomorrow. I'm on my way to John Starks Foundation golf outing with all these Hall of Famers from every sport. So I'll definitely have some scoop tomorrow to be for the box seats, man.
Yeah, nice. I want to hear that. Everything else too. Mike, Sean, what you got going on?
Right now I'm just chilling, but understand the reason why the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight is not happening is not because of Errol Spence. It's because Terrence Crawford doesn't want to sign a contract, and I shouldn't even have told you that.
Why you tell me that then? Why you
that? Because this is our show, so we gotta break these news because everybody. Terrence Crawford's on Instagram telling everybody that the fight is on and popping, and this and that and that and this, and that's a lie.
I gotta I gotta
Yes.
get Mr. Talent, who always likes to leave the show before the show's over. As soon as he says he's out, he's out.
That's why Talon's gonna stay single for the rest of his life, because that's how fast he leaves chicks. Right there. There you go.
Hilarious.
He don't even say, "Are we good?" He just, all right, gets up.
Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. Craig, what you got going on?
Listen, man, I'm chilling right now, man. I started work on the next part of the house. That's it.
All right, there it is. Tell
Okay,
everybody how
Fig.
to follow you, Fig.
Okay.
Say what? Oh, you can follow me at Comedian Fig, all social media platforms, and right here Monday through Friday when Frank is in town. On the box seats, 1 to 2 p.m.
Frank be traveling. I ain't mad at you, Frank.
I know.
I ain't mad. I ain't mad at you. I see you doing your work. I see you doing your work.
I'm trying to figure it out, y'all. Trying to figure it out. That's the show. Show's called Box Seats. I want to thank all the people out there who are watching the show. Thank all the people who are sharing the show. Show's called Box Seats. It's on every day at this time. It repeats at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it repeats again at 11. It's also going to be up on the Humor Mill app and all the other outlets. That's Mike Sean. That's Fig. Roddy Kirby back in probably tomorrow. Talent left also. We'll be back tomorrow. We got some stuff we got to cover, so we're gonna jump into it, man. We got more games and everything else, and picks this week. Are we gonna do the picks this week, right? We're gonna tell the results of the picks, right?
I think we should do like 3 picks a piece, so we don't have to go through the entire.
The problem is that some people, when we don't do it, some people say, "Hey, how come I didn't hear what Mike Sean said about my team, which is the rate?" You know what I mean? So I hear both sides. So
Okay, all right.
That's my problem. I only want to do 1 pick, to be honest with you, maybe 2, because I want to do the biggest games and talk about the biggest games and why we picked who we picked.
Damn, we just had a show meeting in front of everybody. We just had a show meeting. That's dope.
but that's what it is. No, but I'm explaining it so those people who are listening,
No, you're right.
will understand, so they don't keep hitting me up, because they do. We out of here, y'all, and the button will not stick today. I'm saying it will not stick today. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.